Hiya Maths Essential Skills Exercise 8. So I'm going to go through a few questions here to give you guys a hand if you need it. So start on question 1p. So we're doing 6h to the power 5 all cubed. Okay guys, so here it's everything in the bracket cube, so we need to remember cube the 6. Okay, 6 cubed, 6 times 6, 36. Multiplied by 6 another time would be 216. And h to the power 5, if we cube that, we do 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15. So 216 h to the power 15. Okay, remember to look back at the laws of indices at the start, at the previous video. Okay, with the examples on. Let's have a look at 1t as well. So we have bracket to the power negative 8. So first term, h cubed, multiplied by negative 8, and also the second term, k to the power 5, multiplied by negative 8. And then 3 times negative 8 is negative 24, so we end up with h to the negative 24, k to the negative 40. And remember, to get that, let's just write it in here, we are using this law of indices. Okay, that is where that is coming from. Okay, so don't confuse that with this. Okay, they are separate things. Okay, oh, that should be a plus. Okay, so let's have a look at 2e. So this is a skill that we need to be able to use. We need to know what the fractional power of 2/3 means. So 8 to the power 2/3. The top number is the power, so it'll be 8 squared. The bottom number is the root that we take. Okay, so it'll be 8 squared all cube rooted. Now, in a question like this, we could square 8 and get 64 and work out the cube root of 64, which is 4. It's probably not too difficult a thing to do, but always look to take the root first, always. So the cube root of 8 is 2. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Multiplied by 2 again is 8. So the cube root of 8 is 2. And then we still need to do the squaring. 2 squared is 4. So by doing that, we keep the numbers nice and small. All right, 2j, similar question. 64 to the power negative 5 over 6. Remember, a negative power tells us that we can move that down to the bottom of the fraction and the power will become positive. So a to the power negative m is the same as 1 divided by a to the power m. So 64 to the negative 5/6 is the same as 1 over 64 to the power 5/6. Again, top number is the power, so it'll be 64 to the power 5. And then we're going to take the 6th root of that. Okay, so here is a perfect time for taking the root first, okay? So it's basically what number multiplied by itself 6 times makes 64. Okay, if you don't know that off the top of your head, it won't take you long to work it out. It will always be, well, more than likely, it'll be a nice small number. So let's just pick 4. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 again 64, times 4 again is a lot more than 64. So it's got to be smaller than 4. So now I'd maybe think and try 3, but then I'm thinking, well, an odd times an odd is always an odd, and I've got 64, so it's not that. So I'm going to try 2. 2 2s are 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 a 6th time is 64. There we go, we've got it. Okay, all without having to grab a calculator. But remember, we still need to raise this to the power 5, so it'll be 1 over 2 to the power 5. So again, 2 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 a 5th time is 32, so it'll be 1 over 32. Okay, right. Let's have a look at 3e as well. So in 3e, 4d to the negative 1/2 multiplied by 5d to the 3 over 2. So 4 5s are 20. And then take care of the algebra. So d to the negative 1/2 multiplied by d to the 3/2. So just going back over here, we are using this rule. Okay. So for multiplying powers, we can add the powers together. So where are we? Negative 1/2 plus 3/2, that is 2/2, so that'll be 20d to the 2/2, and of course 2/2 is 1 whole, and d to the power 1 is just d. So the answer would be 20d. So 3 more. So 3k's. So this one's definitely getting a bit trickier. So we need to go from a fractional power, from surd form into a fractional power. So we are using this rule. It's normally written like that, actually. It's normally the N there. It's normally M. Okay, so we're using this rule. So I need to turn it into a fractional power first of all. So the cube root of e, we could think of e as e to the power 1 there. So the cube root of e, using this, would be e to the 1/3. Power's 1, the root's the third root of the cube root, so it'll be 1/3. Here it's the cube root of e squared. So again, top number is the power, bottom number is the root, so that'll be 2/3. Now 4e to the third divided by 2e to the 2/3. Well, I suppose we could call them the large numbers, not really that strong in mathematical vocabulary there, but we'll take care of the large numbers first. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then e to the third divided by e to the 2/3, that'll be e to the negative 1/3. And where is that coming from? That is coming from this rule. Okay, so if I have e to the 1/3 divided by e to the 2/3, that will be e to the 1/3 minus 2/3, and 1/3 minus 2/3 is minus 1/3, or negative 1/3. Okay, now that's enough to get your mark, because the question doesn't specifically ask for the answer to be given in a certain way. However, we could move this back down to the bottom of the fraction. Because the negative power, we can move it down. Notice the 2 doesn't move, it's only this that's been raised to the power negative 1/3. And then we could put it back into surd format, which is what was given in the question. So as good young mathematicians, that's what we should be looking to do, give the answer in the same format that the question was given in. Okay, but again, if you're just looking at getting a mark, that would probably be far enough. But I would always expect you guys to put it back into the same format that it was given in the question. Okay, so 3k, that's probably the hardest one, I would say. Let's have a look at m as well, because that could catch one or two of you out. So we're doing the whole bracket to the power negative 2. So that's the first term to the negative 2 multiplied by the second term to the power negative 2. So that's 1/7 squared multiplied by 1/t squared. Again, we are using... where is it? Let's just click back over. We are using that rule there, which we were using in 2j to move the powers down to the bottom. And then 7 squared is 49, t squared is still t squared, so it's just 1/49t squared. And last question, part P. So again, this one looks quite complicated, but again, what are we doing? We are going to use, just flick back over again, guys. We're going to use this rule here. Okay, we've got a bracket to the power n. So everything in the bracket will be raised to the power 2/3. And if we're doing that, we can take the first term, multiply it by 2/3, or multiply the power by 2/3. We can do the same with the second term. And how do we multiply fractions together again? It's top times top, bottom times bottom. Or we could say we could find the product of the numerators and find the product of the denominators. So 2/6 is 1/3, and 2 2s, 3 3s gives the 4/9 for the power of t.